live, and we're live, and we're live. Welcome to the third installment of Daddy Rips and DPZ Bowman Baseball Show on the Luca Nation Network. I'm your host, DPZ. With me, Daddy Rips.
Michael. What's going on?
Rips.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Appreciate it. Let's do it.
We had some takes last week and got some feedback. I think people were really feeling Daddy Rips picks. They like the Aaron Judge, v. Christian Yelich, and that's great. I was the opposite. It wasn't well received. That's okay. People wondered whether I even watched baseball, and I had to correct them. Yes, I've been watching 21 years of losing Mariner baseball. And before that, because I grew up near the Canadian border, I got nothing but Canadian television. I watched Blue Jay baseball. So I got some winning baseball in the early 90s of the Blue Jays. But no, I've watched a lot of baseball. I'm just going with a gut feeling I have, and we'll see if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you can plaster me everywhere. I don't really care. It's all good. It's all fun. However,
that's right.
Daddy Rips has been picking some winners recently. The Dominguez pick is looking like it's making some sense. Marciano making some sense. Garrett Mitchell, we'll find out. But we got some more fun things to talk about. I think you got some topics to cover here, some things you want to share, some prospects that are performing well in spring training. This is about the time where people start thinking, okay, who's going to make it on the major league roster? Who's showing up? Who's earning a spot on that roster, and who's going to actually have a big year potentially? So talk to me.
Let's see that. What jersey are you rocking today?
This is Chipper Jones.
Oh, love that.
Mitchell and Ness. I'm trying to rock a different jersey.
You should have told me. I would have thrown on my Andrew. I have an Andrew Jones one.
Nice. Yeah, I think at one point I had like 20 Mitchell and Ness jerseys. I bought a ton of them, and then I'm like, I don't need 20 of these. So I sold most of them off. But
yeah,
I've kept a couple. I got a Kirk Gibson Dodger, Bo Jackson Royals, got a couple Griffies, and then this, of course. But yeah, it's Mitchell and Ness is it can become an addiction if you're not careful about it, because then they start sending you 40% off, 20% off. You're like, oh wait, that's kind of nice.
I'm rocking my name tag. Our name tags are matching my shirt. I'm rocking the Brady when he was super hammered after winning the Super Bowl.
And that's important, because that has something to. We're going to talk about Brady today. So why don't we?
Yes,
kick it off
we are.
Let's segue right into that. Let's talk about that Bowman Chrome product and the Brady chase. Is that going to be a real thing? Talk to me about it. Unpack that for me.
I hope it's a real thing. I think it's great. Some people are like, why? This is just going to, bring all the Brady. It's like there's a lot of Brady collectors that don't even touch baseball. So you're going to bring those guys into Bowman. And you know what? Listen. There's the Luca 1-of-1 bounty going on right now. You got guys like Shine and all these other guys with these bounties. It's like that's just going to bring another bounty in. Someone's going to throw up a bounty. Hey, the Superfractor Brady Bowman auto. It's just going to bring more attention and hype into the product. I hope it doesn't bring too much hype, because I hope those boxes don't come out at like $800-900 a box, and then it's people get priced out of them just because Brady has autos in them. And I hope what they do, if it is true and if it does come to fruition, I hope that all of his autos are SP. Like keep them to, and Topps Fanatics, if anybody hears this, keep them to like true blue or better, or whatever it might be. Don't overproduce the autos, because they did that with Select. Like Panini actually did it right with Brady autos. I think he only had like 20 autos in Select. They were like, there was like a auto to 10, an auto to 5, and then the 1-of-1. It was like super SP. So I think that would be awesome if they did that. And it's going to bring more people into baseball. There's so many Brady collectors out there that have never even tapped into baseball. And I've tried to I'm like reeling these guys in, man. I've brought in some guys that never ripped baseball before. And I just showed them like, hey, you could spend $35,000 on that flawless case that you just paid, and you got about $600 back in cards. Or you could buy like 8 cases of Bowman Chrome HTA and get hundreds of autos and have that outside chance of getting that $10,000 card or that prospect that gets called up. So I've been trying to reel those guys in over to baseball. It's not sexy, but it makes sense. I guess that might be our Bowman tagline. It's not sexy, but it makes sense.
It's not sexy, but it makes sense. It is interesting though, the amount of money that's spent on a basketball product via a baseball prospect. Obviously, there's the longer wait. I think with basketball, there's sort of an instant gratification. All those folks that are holding jaw right now are probably not feeling too great. But there's also, it's just this. It's longer for the baseball guy. You have to be very patient and wait. When's the proper time to sell? When's the proper time to pick up a card? Who's the guy you can actually ride for the long term? Like, I think there's collectors out there that always battle this. Like, do I want to collect or do I want to invest? How do I want to do this?
Yeah.
Do I want to just move the card as quickly as possible, or do I want to invest in the card and to turn it around once there's a monumental material moment for that player where you can actually turn it into some cash? I think even so, though, the baseball, it's a long road, so it takes time. And there's guys like we're talking. Well, I want to talk about Jarred Kelenic. There's players like that have their moment, and then they have their moment again, and then they have their moment again, because they're basically flipping between AAA and the big leagues. And I think that's a problem. That's an interesting conversation. So when you got a guy who actually already makes his mark, but then he gets bumped down, how does that work with prospecting? Like I say, let's talk about Jarred Kelenic. He's having a hot spring, 4 home runs, batting .412. He's starting to, at this point, live up. Yeah.
What are we, 4 years removed from his Bowman first 2018 draft, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah.
18 draft. So we're 4, almost 5. This year will be our 5 years removed from him. And like, it's becoming that point where if you have his cards, do you either just ride or die with him or just dump them all and go, I'm just going to go into somebody who's 5 years younger, who just came out, or an 18-year-old, or wait for 2023 products. That's what I did. I didn't have a bunch of Kelenic cards, but I got out of him and just was like, all right, I'm just going to move into somebody else, because I was tired of like, oh, he's up. Oh, let's go. He's up. And then he would hit, what did that? One year he hit about $120, $130. Then he'd go back down to AAA, smacking home runs left and right and just destroying AAA pitching. And then you're like, oh my God, he's got it. Like, call him back up. And then it's just like this
back and forth.
And so that could get frustrating in that sense. But what do you think about Brady? What do you think if that happens and they have Brady cards?
If they have Brady cards, I think it brings in a whole nother market of people, a demographic of people that like football cards, the people that collect Brady himself. Maybe the curiosity would bring in some more folks, but I don't know if it does a whole lot. I don't think it's going to move the big needle. I mean, it might help you out a little bit with a break here and there, and that product might get more life, might get some more people jumping in there. Again, we always say it. Go visit it. Daddy Rips. Go check out his rips. They're awesome. His breaks are great, so go check them out. But I think you would benefit a bit for that. I don't know if the long-term market would hold it. It seems very gimmicky to me. I just don't know if it's something that's going to really capture the imagination of the true collector. I think true Bowman Chrome, the Chromies, the true Bowman Chrome crowd will probably kind of scoff at it like,
but it might bring in a totally different market, right?
Yeah, it could do that.
You're going to have like the Chromies, and they're going to go, no, that's a gimmick. And then you're going to have like these other guys that come in and go, man, I have all these Brady cards. Like, I want that Brady baseball card. Or, like I said, like the bounties for the Luca. There's people were even throwing out bounties for the Bowman Chrome U, the football, which I don't like that product. I'll just throw it out there. I don't like it. It's collegiate. People were saying this was the first year they ever did it. It's not. They did it last year. So some of these players already have multiple Bowman U autos and cards. I'm not a big fan of them, but when you have the big spenders and the guys who are willing to throw these bounties out, it brings in the hype. And you're gonna get guys like Blez, you're gonna get Polwax, you're gonna get these big breaking companies and content creators to get the buzz out there for these cards. So that side of it is good. I like it because I'm a Brady fan. I love Tom Brady, so I like it, and I would love to pull a superfractor Bowman Chrome Auto of Tom Brady. I think it'd be cool.
Is it going to be in the? Do we know whether it's going to be in the product or not?
I don't know if it's like confirmed or not. To be honest with you, I don't know. I saw all the videos. I made a parody video of it, of all the people like freaking out about Tom Brady being in the product.
Yeah, I remember that. I saw that.
So,
yeah.
if you don't know, I like memes. I like making the meme
Yeah.
videos. Sometimes it pokes fun at people. Sometimes it's just
Yeah.
for fun. But yeah, I think it could be good. And quite frankly, which I can't wait for this moment. I really can't. I have to say it. When Fanatics takes over, and they will take over at some point, okay? Michael Rubin is like on this path to just maul down the hobby in a good way. When we start getting Bowman Chrome football cards and the Topps Chrome football and the basketball, those are some of the most iconic cards. You know, you look back at the LeBron rookie cards, like the Topps Chrome and the Bowman, that stuff and they made the refractors back in the day were so clean and so beautiful. The cards were so beautiful. When we get back to those, it's going to be so cool to be able to go, guys, we have Bowman Chrome baseball on the table. We have Bowman Chrome football on the table. And we have Bowman Chrome basketball on the table. Mm-hmm. All licensed products. And I think people are that's just going to be huge for the hobby.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to help. Yeah. So you feel like Brady being inserted into a Bowman Chrome product sort of starts that path down. Of course, he's retired now, so you're going to get non-playing years for anything that comes out post now. But still, it's going to, it could energize the whole product. It can energize that whole demographic thinking about football and Bowman, thinking about football and Topps. I could see that. So you also wanted to talk about some of these prospects and some of these camps. Who are you liking? What are you seeing out there that's getting you excited? Who are you seeing that's getting you excited?
Man, I hate to go back to the well. I Jordan Walker, he's ready, guys. Like, he is ready. The guy is just crushing the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy comes out and is just one of those guys, you know, that just comes out and just like, he just doesn't miss a beat from spring and hits 25, 30 jacks this year. I'll say it. He's got all the tangibles. He's got the pop. Like, it's unbelievable. And if this guy doesn't start out on the roster, I think the Cardinals are doing him a disservice. I hate when these organizations do this, when they're like, no, he did well in spring, but we're going to let this 35-year-old guy, he's deserved his time. So we're going to let him play that position or whatever it may be. And I just feel like these young guys, like, ride the wave. The guy's hot. Just let him, just put him on the roster and just let him go, and don't toy with them. That's the other thing I don't like. I hate getting off topic here, but where these guys, they'll bring them up, they'll put them in the 7 hole, right? They're not doing well. And then they'll put them in the 2, and they'll put them in the 9. They're just like, as a baseball player, that screws with your mind. It messes with your mojo. It's all about, we have these tendencies and what's the word I'm looking for? It's like like when I would go up to the plate, I would always put my left glove on first. If for whatever reason I put my right glove on first, I would take my right glove off, then go back and put my left glove on. It was like a mental mind game for us. And when you do that with players, you see when players are struggling, and like Dave Roberts would do it. He would shuffle the lineup all the time. And it's like, sometimes guys just like, I know I'm the 2-hole hitter. I know I'm, this is my goal. This is what I have to do. I need to get on for the 3-4 hitter. Like, keep those players, keep them where they're at, So Jordan Walker, like I said, I hate to just keep repeating the same players, but right now it's, as I'm looking at this, I mean, you have, Kelnick is playing well. Alec Baum's playing well. just going over some players on my list here. So who do you have?
I mean, what I've read is that Jackson Holiday's showing well in camp. He's 19, but he's showing well and hit double in the Grapefruit League. So I mean, you read into that all you want. I think he's doing well. There is a player. You got to find his name.
I have one too. I have another one.
He's
Matt
a short.
Matt McClain.
Go ahead.
McClain. Matt McClain for the Reds. He's a little older, but he's playing well. I think he has a lot of potential. He's the Reds need players, and I think he sees the bigs this year for sure.
My kind of the sneaky pick I had was a shortstop, Mikhail Garcia. He's Kansas City's number 3 prospect.
Yeah.
And he slashed 323, 444, 498 for La Guaria in Venezuela. So he's obviously playing year round. He has continued hot hitting the spring, hitting the cover off the ball and going 7 for 11 in Cactus League play. His bat to ball skills and production are forcing the Royals into a tough decision about their roster and how they can fit Garcia on it. 23-year-old will get time at shortstop with Bobby Witt Jr. playing in the World Baseball Classic, but the Royals committed to Witt at short this year, and Garcia will also play third and start to get some work in center field. I think this guy could be a sneaky pick.
Yeah.
I don't know what product he's in. I didn't do that research. This is all from MLB.com.
Mikhail Garcia. How old is he?
Mikhail Garcia says he's 23. He's older.
I think that guy's in. I think he's in Chrome. I want to say he's in 2022 Chrome.
Okay.
They had like 3 prospects. They're all hitters. It was Velasquez. I think he was in. I want to say he's in 22 Chrome. I could be wrong, but
we'll find that out. We'll do the research on that, and that might be a guy we talk about. But I wonder, with teams like Baltimore and Kansas City, you had a lot of young talent.
Yeah.
They've obviously restocked the farm. Mariners are now finally starting to see that. But I remember when we started restocking the farm, Alex Gordon retires. You get a lot of these players that leave. Hosmer takes off.
Yeah.
But now you're kind of building that back up. I think that there's another piece for Kansas City that you could be a trade piece. If you think about shortstop logjam, if that's his true position, third base or center field ain't shabby. Okay. So he could be somebody. I mean, you saw the bat off the ball. If you look at this 2-run homer he hit the other day, he's got pop. He's got plus hitting. Plus power. I think that there's opportunity there for him.
Yeah. I like Alec Thomas for the Diamondbacks. He's been playing well. Mark Vientos has been playing well for the Mets. Now, granted, guys, this is spring training. We talked about it before we even went live. Like, it's a lot of those tweener players, a lot more guys that are getting, they're trying to see situational pitching, how these guys are doing in certain situations. How does this reliever pitcher, for example, in spring they'll take a guy and go, how do you do if we just start you the game, and how those are your 3 innings, or how do you do when we enter the game losing or enter the game winning, and so they're really trying to figure out their pitching staff and test things out. So sometimes these guys will face a reliever right out the gates, and maybe they tend to hit relieving pitching a little bit better. So it is all to say, like, be wary, because they're not facing the day in, day out guys once the season starts.
What are your thoughts on Matthew Lugo, shortstop for the Red Sox?
Not a big fan. I think he might just be a spring training, like one of these guys that just does well in spring. It's just like he's just one of those like bland players. I don't know.
Yeah, nothing exciting.
Nothing exciting. No. Not an Acuna.
Not an Acuna. That's pretty much another guy I saw. He's older, Oscar Colas, outfield for White Sox.
That guy's going to be good.
You think about you have to think about Robert and Jim and Jimenez being healthy.
Yeah.
He probably have an opportunity. One of those two is going to get hurt.
He's going to hit behind those guys too. So he's going to hit.
He'll get pitched too. Yeah.
He's probably going to hit 6th in that lineup, I'm guessing. Eloy, Lubob, Anderson, that was the guy on the first episode. That was who I picked for AL Rookie of the Year. I want to say he's like plus 1,200 to win AL Rookie of the Year. He's older, but it's like it's another one of those players that he has to come out of the gates and he has to do well right away. I think he's 24. So if he doesn't do it, he's going to be one of those guys just kind of bounces back and forth, and he's only going to be called up when there's injuries. He needs to cement himself into that lineup. I think they're already saying that he should start the season in left field, I want to say.
That's right field. He's 24, and
he's
a favorite to be the starting right fielder for the Sox.
So he needs to cement himself right away, and that's a good lineup to do it, because he doesn't have to be the guy, right? You know, Bobby Witt, let's face it, guys. Last year, Bobby Witt had to be the guy in Kansas City as a rookie. You could take Salvador Perez out. Like, I know he was like the leading guy in their like home runs and RBIs last year, but Bobby Witt had to be the guy. Oscar Colas doesn't have to be the guy. You know, Julio Rodriguez didn't have to be the guy on that team. He became the guy, but he didn't have to be that guy on the Mariners. So with that, same thing with Jeremy Pena. No pressure. When there's no pressure on players, it's so much easier to go, because the longer you go without producing, when the pressure's on, the more it impacts your mental game, and you start overthinking things. You start guessing pitches that you otherwise wouldn't be guessing pitches. You start fumbling the ball on the field. There's things that just kind of pile on.
Got it. Anybody else you want to talk about? Prospects?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You know, J-Dom hit his second home run. I know we had that video and everyone like freaked out, which I literally said, like, I gave both things on J-Dom, and it still had people come saying like, oh, you know, he's no Mickey Mantle. It's like, clearly he's no Mickey Mantle. Like, clearly he's not these players, guys. Come on. Like, we're just talking about players. We're just having the conversation. So don't overreact to our reaction when I say it's a little bit overreaction, but it's good for the hobby. It's good for the hobby. It's great. It's great that people are finally paying attention to baseball, because when it's all set, like, what's the most expensive card sold? Mickey Mantle?
Mm-hmm.
Baseball card. Like,
not even his rookie card, right?
Yeah. Like,
true collector.
So
yeah.
It's, you know, we're having the conversation because we don't feel that there's a lot of a good baseball content out there. So we're trying to bring that to you, whether that be prospecting, playoffs, all-star, whatever it might be. We're just talking. So don't take it so personal or so serious.
All right. Well, speaking of taking things personally, you have some sleeper playoff contending teams that you want to share with everybody?
Yeah. Did you come up with any or no?
I still kind of feel like Baltimore is going to be a problem. I think Baltimore is going to cause problems in the AL. I just think the AL is so stacked. It's kind of hard to pick a sleeper. I think there's so many teams that could make the playoffs. Cleveland, you got the White Sox, you've got, you know, the Twins are always in there. Baltimore is going to be somebody. I think they're going to be someone to look at or watch towards the end of the season.
The AL East is
it's just
anybody could come out of there, right?
Correct.
A couple injuries here, a couple injuries there. You have the Red Sox. You know, the Rays always find a way. They put it together. You know, the Yankees are all, you know, the Yankees, like, I don't know. I don't know who's going to win the AL East. I don't know. You have the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Rays, the Orioles, and the Red Sox.
That's a coin flip. That's a coin flip.
Yeah, any one of those teams can win.
Yeah,
and people are like, you know, people are, you know, the Red Sox are an organization that I remember. What was it? 2 years ago, they wrote them off, and they made the playoffs. You know, they got hot at the right time. So anybody out of that division, anybody can win it. I really believe that. I mean, I think the Orioles, like I said, the Orioles in the first episode, they were my team. They were my like sneaky team that I think they can go deep in the playoffs. They have the young talent. They can get that momentum. They're a sneaky team.
I'll give you this take. This is my take. It may not be a sleeper contending team, But in the AL East, you could be a coin flip of who wins it. But I think the Yankees finish last. I think they're dead last.
Really? Oh
Dead
my
last
God.
team at the end of the year. I think Aaron Judge gets hurt because I think he's overrated. And I think that the Yankees finish the season in last place. They don't make the playoffs.
Oh my God. That's
That's
a
what I
take
think.
right there. That's a
I,
take.
I just think you got so much. There's so many teams in the AL in general.
Yeah.
So even if they're fighting for a wild card, even if they're in last place and they're a winning baseball team, which would be hard to be if you're playing interdivision. So I think that they still struggle to get out of the cellar. I think they're still a decent team. I just don't think with the talent that's in the American League right now, they're going to be able to poke through. I think it's a last place team. I think if there's anybody that wins the AL East, I would say I think Toronto finally puts it all together, and I think they actually walk away with it. Seeing them in the playoffs last year, I mean, I think Vlad's going to have a good year. Bichette, you talked about Bichette. If he plays to his card, that's a really good team. I think they got better in the offseason. Losing Hernandez kind of hurts, but still, I think that's a team that probably pulls through in the end. I think Tampa Bay is right there in the end. I think Boston and Tampa Bay are jockeying for that third position. I think New York's just out of it. And I don't think Aaron Boone survives. I think he gets fired at the end of the year.
That's so great. I'm going to say my other team is the Cardinals. The Cardinals can be real scary, real scary. You have, I mean, Nolan Gorman, Dylan Carlson. You're going to have Jordan Walker at some point is going to be in the bigs. I don't see how. I think they were like on the cusp last year, right, of the playoffs. They were right there, right? They kind of had like a push towards the end, but I could see them being a scary team as well. Other than that, there's so many teams now that are just there, right? There's like 10 teams. In the AL, there's about 15 teams vying for those playoff teams, and like the NL, there's like 10, 12 teams. So there's so many quality teams now that so you just never know now. An injury, like I said, an injury here, an injury there, and who knows? The Dodgers might miss the playoffs. You know, the Dodgers lost a lot of players, and with Lux going down, and who knows? It just, we'll see.
And before we jump into the next topic, I wanted to ask you something I thought about earlier. It's sort of off topic, but
yeah,
players' current team rookie cards. So if you have a Bowman first, let's use Jared Kelenic for an example. His Bowman first is with the Mets in a Mets jersey, and then he has a Topps Chrome update gold refractor or just the update Chrome Auto card that's in the Mariner jersey.
Yep.
Obviously, Mariner fans are going to prefer him in a Mariner jersey, so they're going to probably lean towards the Topps update, the Chrome rookie. Yeah. Obviously, he doesn't have a lot of products in that year, so he kind of lucks out. I used to hold one of those, and I sold it. Yeah, I got out of him. But the Bowman Chrome I had as well, and I got rid of it because I just didn't want him in a Mets jersey. So is there a market for a player that gets traded like that? Where that card could actually, or does Bowman Chrome still win no matter what?
Bowman wins. I'll say this. I just watched the video, and I'm not knocking this guy. He has his opinion and his take, which is fine. He's a content guy, and he's talking about baseball cards, and he says calls it the Bowman first rookie card, and I'm like, those aren't rookie cards. Like rookie cards and Bowman first are worlds apart, guys. They're worlds apart because you can have a Bowman first. A guy could be 16, 17, have a Bowman first card. He might not he might not even get an actual rookie card for 4 or 5 years because he might just be stuck in the system or super young or an international player that comes over and there's limitations on when all these things. Please, they're not. The Bowman first is not a rookie card. It's a Bowman first card. That's it. Because even after that, you're still going to have prospect cards. You're still having a Bowman prospect cards of those players. It's really very rare where you have a guy have a Bowman first card in 2022, and then they're in the bigs in 2023. Very rare that you'll see that. Then that's when the rookie cards kick in. Topps Chrome rookie, Bowman Chrome rookie, all the actual rookie cards. Because when it comes down to it, the Bowman first cards will always outsell the rookie cards because of the fact of how many rookie sets these players are getting now. Topps Chrome, Topps Chrome Logo Fractor, Topps Chrome Cosmic, Topps Chrome Sonic, Topps Chrome Black, Topps Chrome Gilded. They're just making all these products. And you're like, oh, Julio, Topps Chrome Ben Baller. It's like gimmick, 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 gimmick. You cannot gimmick the Bowman first. You can't. Are they making a little bit more of it? Yes, they are. But there's still be a select about the amount of those cards. A true red Bowman first and a true red Topps Chrome, worlds apart. It's not even a question. So I know this guy said it was like a generational thing, right? Where, oh, well, my generation calls the first, this is like a rookie card. It's like, no, it's not a rookie. It's a Bowman first. Because if you tell people this is a Bowman first Chrome rookie card, then people are going to have it in their heads that that's a rookie card. It's not the same. So, because then what happens is in 3 years when they go, well, why is he, well, what do you mean? Then you're getting people confused, right? Because then when the Topps Chrome card rookie card comes out, then they're like, wait a second, but you said that Bowman first was his rookie card. Now he has a top. Why does he have a rookie card in 3 years later? So you really have to keep it separate, and you have to make sure people, because I try to explain the Bowman to the Topps and all. It's so hard because people are like, well, what do you mean? Like, well, this is just this like first card that they're going to produce of this player. This is the first. And then it's so hard because then you have to describe people about, oh, well, this is an auto only guy. Well, why is he an auto only guy? Oh, okay. Well, they couldn't get him to sign in this product. So they moved his auto. It's like, it's so hard to explain, but once you get it, you understand like the products and how it kind of falls in line. Just don't confuse people, leave the rookies aside. So especially now, because when Mike Trout had rookie autos, there was like 2 products. He had rookie autos in. Now there's fucking 50. There's 50 products where you can find a Julio auto, Definitive, Diamond Icons, Transcendent, all the Topps Chrome products, all like, and that's not even Bowman. It's just like all the top stuff, So,
well, let's segue into that conversation. I mean, it's a perfect segue. I mean, you definitely chose up and chose violence over this whole topic. I can tell. That's good. Yeah. You're passionate about it. I think there's the misinformation can be very damaging because folks will spend money assuming it's one thing and then learning another after the fact, and then you lose money there. So it's important to understand that. On this show, folks, what we'd love to do is teach you more about the products and why, Bowman Draft, why Jared Kellenick was in Bowman Draft. Well, we learned from the last couple episodes, he'd be in that product because he was a stateside player from high school. So that's a product he's going to end up in. Or if he was playing in college ball, that's where he'd end up as well. We got the Bowman Chrome and the Bowman Chrome, the Bowman and the Bowman Chrome usually are more the international players. So learning all of those things helps you understand and differentiate between why and what. And then there's the auto-only player. That's a whole nother layer that we can dive into and keep unpacking so you understand more about that. But let's talk about products. Topps is going to be eliminating Topps Gold Label, Fire, Gallery, I believe. Mm-hmm. And there's something else I forget.
The Archives, Bowman Chrome X, Clearly Authentic, Fire, Gallery, Gold Label, Opening Day, and First Edition. And I can go into some of these because a lot of these are just, like I said before, they're gimmicks. They're gimmick products that they're making money off of people. And people are thinking like, oh, I'm hitting a big card. And it's just, a lot of these are like these buyback cards, they call them, right? Clearly Authentic, or like Archives. They get a card that's not even really a card that's supposed to be autographed. They stamp it and says it's out of 25, and then the guy signs it. And it's just like a regular, old school Greg Maddux card, right? They stamp it and says it's out of 25, and then he signs it, and they're like, "Oh, I hit a Greg Maddux card out of 25." It's like, it's just kind of like a base paper card that they turned into an auto and then like put it in a product and call it Archives, So I think Fire is more of like a retail company or a retail product. Clearly Authentic is another one of those. It's just, I'm not a fan of. Bowman Chrome X, I believe this was a COVID product. I believe this came out. They made this during 2020. The same thing with first edition, which I'm so glad they're getting rid of first edition. Okay. I love Bowman. 2020, they came out with first edition, and that was the first edition. Okay. You don't keep coming out with first edition the next year because it's just first edition, like a first edition Pokemon. You don't keep coming out with another first edition Pokemon, another first edition. No, it's first edition for one reason. It's it. If you want to call it second edition and third edition, then do that. So the first edition, I'm so glad they're getting rid of because they just kept making it. And I just felt like they're just like, this is just a money hungry thing because you're just watering down the product. And then they were throwing that out before they were throwing first edition out before draft would come out. So they're like, oh, here's first edition draft. And then people were spending their money on that. And then by the time draft came out, that product would just tank. So like I said, it was just like a money grab. So I'm so glad they're getting rid of that. Gold label, not a big fan of. I do like the gold label autos, like the framed autos they had in there. It had a transcendent type feel to it, but they just didn't sell.
Well, gold label, understanding gold label, let me interject. Gold label actually was a pretty decent set in the 90s. Like I'm purchasing a Ken Griffey Jr. red class 3 PSA 10. I mean, it's out of 25. This gorgeous card. But even then, back then, they were, copying Flair Showcase Legacy cards. It was like their response to that. Yeah. So the set really has a few good years in there, right? I think it's like anything. A lot of the best cards were in that time frame that had that magic between like 94, 95, and 99. But the latest installations of them are just, I don't know. It feels like just another product. Yeah. Which is, so what else? What other products would you eliminate if you were to add to that list? What other products would you add?
Oh
to
man,
be eliminated?
What I would do is this: you have all these Topps Chrome products, okay? And I hate saying it this way because it's going to sound like a cheap way to do it, but I would just do Topps Chrome the way you do Topps Chrome, okay? That's fine. But instead of eliminating products, what I would do is I would take the Topps Chrome Black, the Topps Chrome Logo Fractors, the Topps Chrome Gilded, the Ben Baller Topps Chrome, like all these Topps Chrome, even I would keep Sapphire out, but I would throw all these Topps Chrome products that they keep making, and I would throw them into one product. One product. Yeah. And it's like not a hit draft type style, but you're chasing those in all in one product.
Yeah.
That way, I don't know. I just feel like it's watering it down. And the list that I'm looking at right here that they're eliminating, it's all cheap stuff. And when I say cheap, like it just feels cheap. When you open Panini Chronicles stuff, it's cheap. It just feels like it's printed like I just took this thing and I just put a card on it and just threw it in a box. It feels cheap. So I'm glad they're getting rid of this stuff. I loved the first edition when it came out in 2020 because it was first edition. It was the first edition, and the foils were really cool. And they threw in autos in there that were super rare. I think it was like 1 in 10 boxes, super rare. And that was some sort of like the chase. Mm-hmm. But I love seeing this. It gets me like excited because I want to see them throw out more stuff, get rid of some more stuff. So it's a good start. I think it says here on the website, it says they're getting rid of opening day. Like opening day is such an ass product. I'm sorry, guys. If you open that, I'm so sorry, but it is. It says it has been around the longest continuously. So it says that this set, which closely mimics flagship Topps baseball, dates back to 1990s. Yeah. Well, we're in a new collector era, so get them out.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of product that could probably stand to be looked at closely and go, hey, this product makes sense. I think Topps needs to identify what's their response to National Treasures Flawless. Is it Dynasty? You know,
Yeah.
is it Transcendent, the other product?
You have Transcendent, which is the most expensive. Then you drop down to Bowman Transcendent. So you have Top Transcendent, Bowman Transcendent. Then it goes to probably Diamond Icons. And then you have Definitive. Then you have Dynasty. Those are what I would say the top like echelon. If I say when I say Transcendent, I would compare Transcendent to Eminence, actually. Panini Eminence. Eminence is that big. They only come out with like basketball every 2 years, football every 2 years. I would say it's an Eminence style because it has like the layers in the briefcase and you have the foam and so and then obviously like Diamond Icons I would compare to Diamond Icons to probably Flawless because it's all on card. So hey, you might want to save this. My computer's freaking out on me right now. I'm getting this like force quit application. I swear. I swear.
All right.
I'm getting a force quit application. And the last time this happened, it literally just shut down my whole computer.
Well, before you run, we're going to run anyway. Why don't you give us your daddy picks to rip?
I'm going to tell you right now, real quick, before this freaking thing goes. Right now, 2016 Bowman Chrome. If you can get your hands on those boxes or a case, go buy it. It doesn't make any sense, okay? You have Vlad, Tatis, and Soto, and O'Neal Cruz in that product. Go. I think there was a case on eBay, I want to say, for less than $15,000. I know it sounds expensive, guys, but you don't understand. If Tatis comes back with a bang, if Vladdy does what he keeps doing, and if Soto does what he keeps doing, and O'Neal Cruz, imagine if O'Neal Cruz has an MVP type season. Those boxes at one point were $5,000 to $6,000. I think they're like around $1,100-$1,200 right now. If you can swoop up some of those boxes and either hold them, or if you want to rip them, I would hold because I think they're going to get over $2,000 to $3,000 again. And I think it's a great just buy it and stash it. You have 4 amazing athletes in that class that are not only athletes, but they have the swag and they can carry that product. All 4 of those guys can carry that product. I don't care about the Tatis stuff because guess what? When he starts hitting home runs again, it's just going to go out their brains and they're going to go, I'm going to go buy his cards again. That's my pick to rip.
Daddy's pick to rip. You heard it here on Luca Nation Network.
My computer's freaking out.
This is episode 3 of the Daddy Rips and DPZ Bowman Baseball Show. Go check out your 2016 Bowman. And obviously be smart how you're buying. We're not telling you to buy stuff. This is not, a financial advice show. We're not. Be smart. Stay within your means. Maybe pick up a box if you can afford it. Hold it. Sell it later. Do whatever you want to do. Be smart. Talk to your significant others. Don't just spend money. But more importantly, thank you for joining us. Comment below. We're going to have some stuff. I know you're going to be probably mad at me over the Yankees. You're going to lose
me in like 2 seconds.
Peace out, guys.
With nearly 40 years as the most trusted resource for collectors, dating back to the first Beckett magazine in 1984, Beckett has been the brand that bridges generations of the hobby. We're happy to be partnering with Beckett and look forward to keeping you all updated on the big things happening at the company in 2023. Beckett. It's the name you know and the name you can trust.